It was 11:47 p.m. when my phone rang. The name on the screen said Sarah Redhart, my daughter who hadn't spoken to me in 4 years. I answered, and the first words out of her mouth were, "Dad. I need you. I'm scared." That single sentence broke something inside me, and healed something at the same time. Because the last time we talked, she told me I was no longer her father. This is the story of how one late-night call brought us back from the edge. My name is David Thompson. I'm 54 years old, born and raised in a working-class neighborhood in Pittsburgh. For 28 years I ran a small construction company, the kind where I knew every worker by name and their kids' birthdays. We built homes, fixed roofs, and took care of our own. I thought I was building a future for my family. Turns out, I was mostly building debt. When the housing market crashed hard in our area, everything fell apart. Suppliers stopped trusting me. Banks called in loans. Within 18 months I lost the business, the house, and most of my pride. My wife Karen had already passed away 2 years earlier from cancer, so it was just me and Sarah. She was 21 at the time, finishing college on loans I could barely help with. The night I told her we were losing the house, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "I can't keep watching you fail, Dad. I need to focus on my own life." Then she blocked me. No calls. No texts. Not even on holidays. For years of silence that felt like a slow death. I took whatever work I could find, driving for rideshare, doing handyman jobs, sleeping in a small studio apartment above a laundromat. Some nights I sat on the stairs and just stared at old photos of Sarah as a little girl on my phone. I never reached out. I figured if she wanted nothing to do with a broke failure, I wasn't going to force myself on her. Then that call came. Her voice was shaking. She had moved to Chicago for a marketing job she thought was stable. Turns out her company was downsizing and she was let go without warning. Rent was due, her savings were gone, and her roommate had already moved out. She was 2 weeks away from being on the street. "Dad," she whispered, "I know I don't deserve to ask, but I don't have anyone else." I didn't hesitate. I told her, "Pack what you can. I'm coming to get you." I drove 6 hours through the night in my old pickup truck with the check engine light on the whole way. When I pulled up to her building, she was sitting on the curb with 2 suitcases and red eyes. She looked so small, like the little girl I used to carry on my shoulders. She didn't say anything at first. She just stood up and hugged me tighter than she had since she was 10 years old. I felt her shoulders shaking as she cried into my shirt. All I could say was, "I got you, kiddo. I got you." The drive back to Pittsburgh was quiet at first. Then the words started coming. She told me how sorry she was for cutting me off when I needed her most. She said she was scared and angry at the world and took it out on me. I told her I understood, losing her mom broke us both in different ways. I didn't take her back to my tiny studio. I had been quietly fixing up my late grandmother's old house on the edge of town, the one the bank almost took years ago. It wasn't fancy, but it was paid off and had a backyard. I'd been working on it every weekend, hoping one day it could be a home again. Sarah moved into the room that used to be mine when I was a kid. Within a month she found a new job at a local nonprofit. She started cooking dinner some nights, terrible at first, but we laughed about it. Some evenings we sat on the porch like we did when she was little, drinking sweet tea and talking about everything we missed. Last month she got a small promotion. She came home with a cake and said, "This one's for you, Dad. For never giving up on me even when I gave up on us." I'm not gonna lie, there are still hard days. Trust takes time to rebuild. But every time I hear her laugh in the kitchen or see her working at the dining table with her laptop, I feel something I hadn't felt in years: hope. Sometimes the people who push you away the hardest are the ones who need you the most. And sometimes the strongest thing a parent can do is keep the door open, even after it's been slammed shut. If you're watching this and you're carrying pain from a broken relationship with your child or your parent, don't wait for the perfect moment. Life is short.